Hi everybody, Jo here again, and welcome to another Monday Mindfulness with me. Oh, there's a lot of M's there, wasn't there? Anyway, I hope you're having a good week. I hope it started well. And I've got my mum here for a few days, so that's lovely. So we're going to spend some quality time, just me and her. So I'm catching up with you, hopefully while my mum sat in the lounge or in the garden, depending on the weather. Now, today I'm going to add this to our journal, and this is a piece that I made last Tuesday, and I think this is working well because you get to see how I create the piece, obviously on the Tuesday, but you also then get to see how my mind works for adding this to a journal. So obviously it can be a card, as you saw, but also I'm thinking it'd be lovely to incorporate into a journal. So that's the main premise of today. But what I have done is I've created a similar one already in my small journal because I'll be working in the larger. As you know, there's two sizes, and I'm using the rough of these journals just because that's the texture of the paper I like. So what I've done in my smaller journal is actually just created myself a beautiful on and off cut. I save all my offcuts, look. So just an offcut, I created a lovely border, similar to how I created it last Tuesday, and then I've added some extra bits and some stencil work behind. And that's the sort of thing I'm going to go off in, similar sort of thing in my larger journal. So those of you who are doing a smaller one, it can be done in your smaller journal. I just think it's important to show you. I'm going to put that to one side as I have so many one sides, don't I? Now what I do want to show you, in my journal, I have my background created already. Two reasons I want to show you this. One, when we created a piece a while ago with this beautiful leaf, I added an embellishment. And what I wanted to show you, I used glossy accents to glue it. It comes through to the back. And it's important that I show you. What I don't want you to do is add things to your journal or spray things in your journal and it will come through to the other side. And I think it's important to show you how we get round that. So A, I want a design that's going to cover that up. But B, when I've been using my stencils with ink, I clean them in my journal. And so this is a page, sorry, excuse me. This is a page where you can actually see the green edge coming through from the page before, which I think is lovely. It'd be helpful if I could show you, wouldn't it, there? That just came through from when I added ink, that side. So when I had some green ink on my stencil and wanted to clean it, I thought these were ideal pages to clean it. And for me, that's a perfect background. Just a little bit of detail and lots of white space. Now, in case you're wondering how to create that, what I thought is I could show you in my smaller journal, create a little background, and then I've got one ready for another day. Often that's what happens with journaling. Now, the stencil is this one called Flower Spray, and I do use this a lot. And what I want to show you is, let's just find, oh, that'd be a good page, look, because we've got green here and green here. Now, what we can do, we can get an innie and an outie design from our stencil work. So I'm going to use two colours of green, the lime punch and the pine. Now you can just take your ink pads direct to your stencil for this, but I actually think I'm missing a background there. So what I'm thinking is, let's start, and I'm just going to blend some green ink through this stencil. And I'm going to start with my lighter colour and then my darker colour. And I'm just holding it in place. No need to tape it down. I mean, you can if you want. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I like that. I just want a bit more. That's lovely and deep here. I like an area, almost it makes your eye go to if it's deeper. That's nice, I like that. So I'm happy with that. And then all you do, important to put your lids on your ink pads. take your water spray. Now Eric's actually under my chair today. Not only is he under my table, he's under my chair. So I've got my water spray here and I'm going to spritz my stencil. So he's going to get a bit wet. And then all you do is come in and just pop that on your page. So often if I've been doing stencil work on another card design, and I want to clean my stencil, I'll just spritz it and put a background in my journal. And often, if Mr. Mojo goes, as quite often craft as it does, if you've got a page like this, it's a starting point. Now, you never know what you're going to get with this. Sometimes you get more than others. Depends how much ink was on the area. And that's the beauty of it. So there we go. And as you can see, there's a little bit here, but I quite like some detail up there. So what I can do is choose a bit so I like this bit here. And what I'm actually going to do is just come in and just direct to stencil. Add a little bit of the darker colour. Again, give it a spritz. And let's add that there. Just move that there. And what you'll see is sometimes there isn't much. As it dries, you get more. And like I say, if you find there's not much, you can always add a little bit extra like this. And I think this dark piece up there, yes. So if I just give that a minute to dry, and we'll just spritz this and give this a quick wipe so I can put this away. Wipe my table. Important to keep everywhere clean. So that was the flower spray stencil. And I'll bring this back in to show you. So obviously that's the one background and this is the other. And as I say, as it starts to dry, look, you can see this area here. But I'm quite happy with this even though it's not got a lot of pattern. And then I've added that extra little detail there. And that, for me, makes all the difference with that. So when that dries, I've got another starting point. So back to just going to move that over there. So this is what we have here. And as I say, this is where I've dried. And as you can see, I've got some lovely, lovely areas. Now in my head, I'm going to put that on this side. So what I'm thinking is I need some extra elements to add. So what I've made myself are some little discs here to add to my work. And what I'll do is I'll show you how I made them. And this is a great way of using all your scraps up. I thought you wouldn't want to see me make all of them. So, for example, I keep all my offcuts, such as these, look. Even smaller bits. And what I've done is come in with my circle masks. And I just want to use, she says, no, it's not in here. Have I left it out? So really what I want is the smaller version of this. But it seems to have gone AWOL. I was using it yesterday. So it doesn't matter, we can use this. I just find it easy drawing round that area. But with these being see-through, you know what it's like. Even with the Posca on, I can mislay them. But it doesn't matter, we can get round it, we can use this. So all I will do, on the smaller area, I might decide to do a half or a 3/4. And on the larger area here, we'll have some full circles. This is just such a great thing to do. I'm going to put that safe. I don't want to mislay that as well, do I? I could blame Eric. I seem to blame him for everything that goes missing. And then all you do is get your favourite stamps, look, and stamp yourself some designs. Now, I find it easier to stamp before I cut out, but obviously it's up to you. So the circle one, there's one stamped, and again, if I'm doing a half one, I like to stamp outside the area. I just think it sort of looks better. And I find it easier to do that if I've got the full card. So we'll have a couple of wild summer flowers. And I want to use a combination of all the flowers that I've used. And again, not all of the ones on the same circle. So I've got a good variety. So we'll have a little bit of this dandelion just popping there. And then what I'm thinking with this one, and again, I'm just cleaning each stamp as I pop it back, is I'd love the little orchard grass just popping up in the middle. And I'm keeping these all black. I'm using the cream card. Oh, let's have a second and third generation there. There we go. And I'm using the cream card. If you remember, this is the multifarious. I used this for my main piece. And then all you need to do, let's get rid of this. I'll just block that. All you then do is cut. Now, I know some of you aren't keen on cutting out. Now, I just roughly do this because, again, it's my journal. It's my almost, I want to make it look, you know, nice and handcrafted. So I just do, cut that up there. I just do a very quick. Now, if you had a die cut, obviously you could use your circle die cut. Just trim that a little bit more. If you don't like the edges, a little tip, if you use an emery board and if you just flick it away from you, it gets rid of any little paper bits you've got on those edges if you're not keen on them. Make sure you go away from you though. I'm happy with those. So let's have a look. But these are just a great way, and I want to keep them monochromatic because it goes with that spotlight design that we did. And now this is the bit I love, the bit where I'm going to play. Let me have a look what we can see. So I'm thinking I'd like this here, but what I'd like is, I like the part at the top here. Put that there. Now I know I want one over, now I know it's not easy for you to see, but over where that embellishment was. And I like that, the one we've just made. Now again, look at that from that little snippet of paper, but how lovely does that look? Now that's this side. So if I can move this along, can you see the other side now? Now that is going over my embellishment there. That's going there. Now I could either put one here, or what about having one? I quite like that there because I think if I put one there, it's almost too symmetrical with the other side. So let's, now I love the torn edge here. So maybe let's go for it. Let's just tear down there and then we can stick that. I don't want it level with that, do I? That could go there. Yes, I'm liking that. And then I've always got one for, no, I don't, that's overcooking it. We'll leave that for another. So I'm happy with that design. So what I'm going to do with my pencil, I want to actually just draw around these so I know where they're going to go. Because we're going to add a little bit of journaling to our journal. So I hope you're enjoying these sessions. I have to say it was lovely. I got a message off a lady, and I'm sorry I forget your name, last week saying that although she wasn't journaling, she was actually enjoying the process, and she was learning things here that she could use in her card making, which is lovely. I think that is just so good. And after all, like I say, that's what we're here for, just to inspire. And anything here, I mean, obviously you've seen this made into a card, but also you could use this idea. What about, you know what, if you had a DL card, let's pretend that's a DL card, you could make 2 of these, look. You could have an afternoon, if your mojo's gone, creating a few of these. And then what about putting those there and then putting one of our sentiment stickers along the bottom? That would be beautiful. Now, I think if your mojo's gone, why not do that? And again, do a few in black and white, monochromatic, then add some colour. And what you'll find is as you start colouring, honestly, your mojo will come back because you'll just enjoy it so much. Now, I want to add a little bit of journaling here. So I'm actually going to write round these circles, and I'm just going to write Beautiful Meadow. And I want it to be continuous. I'm going to do the same around this one. And again, I'm purposely doing almost loopy writing. Now, if you're not happy writing something, you could just do squiggles. But I find it's actually easier to actually have something to write and then make it into squiggles. Doesn't have to be legible. And we need it to match up. So I'll just carry on and do these. And again, I find it easy to turn my work. I mean, you could write a saying, a sentiment. And let's see if this doesn't matter if it doesn't match up. Just look at that. Right, we've got another one here. And then one more in the middle here. For some reason I find it easier to start here. Now again, I've got the inclusion underneath, so you might find it easier to actually just hold that and be aware of it. But this is just such a lovely thing to do. And this isn't my design, this is a journaling technique. And again, it's been done for years. There we go. And I think that, I'm hoping you can see that, just when I put that there, will give us a little bit of extra dimension without being too much. And we can pop these, oh look at that. So let's get our bippity boppity glue. And I'm going to stick these on. And again, I tend to put the glue on and then just use my finger so it comes right to the edge. Just spread it. And then we'll pop, got a little bit of wiggle time. So we'll pop that one in there. And then this one here. Give my fingers a little bit of a wipe and move along. Now I know that one was there, and just let me double check. Yes, I like that because I like that deeper one there and there, so I'm happy with that. So let's just put the glue on all three. And then I can use my finger to spread it. Oh, Eric, that was a big sigh. We'll put that one there. And again, just give it a gentle press. And again, let's get that glue to all the edges. And this way, I don't use too much glue, but I know it gets to the edges and it will stick down beautifully. And as I say, you do get that little bit of wiggle time. But as I say, this monochromatic, sorry, excuse me, this naughty cough. One day it will go, you know, I'm sure it will. My husky voice might go as well. Although you're probably used to it now, aren't you? Right, last one. And again, I'm not rubbing. I could have rubbed the pencil line out, but to be honest, I don't think you can see it. And that one is over that inclusion, so I'm just going to pop my hand underneath. Just so I make sure that sticks well. And then give my hands a bit of a wipe. And what I love about this is just that pop of colour there. Now, I know some people would have put a blue background, but I've gone for with this greeny colour here. And I like the blue because I feel that really pops. So we'll pop this in. And again, I'm going to use my usual belt and braces. So I've got double-sided finger lift tape. And I put this round the edges first. And I do this with whenever I'm attaching anything, and always one across the middle diagonally to pull the whole design together. And then we'll just turn the corners. The middle one I take off altogether, and then the corners we just literally take off the corner, bend it back. And then the old belt and braces, because sometimes in time, tape, the adhesive can not be as good. So I like to use my wet glue as well. But the reason I don't use totally just wet glue, sorry, I'm just trying to put the lid on my glue, is because sometimes if I have seen where crafters have used too much wet glue and you can see it through. So again, I like to get mine right to the edges, look. Let's dry that finger. I was going to say, let's make sure it's the right way up. And obviously it wasn't. But again, I've got time now. And a little tip, I'm just going to stand up. Because often by standing up, I can see. I just want that to look. Right, I'm happy with that. So again, in with the kitchen roll. Because obviously I've got glue and all sorts on my hand. And again, give it a good press, and we just slide these out, look. There we go, pop those in the bin. Give it a good press all the way. Oh, I like that. Now, just a couple of little finishing tricks. I'm really happy with the way that's turned out. I love to use things like paper clips. Now, obviously, as you know, I've got all sorts of little ties and things in here, and it's a journal, so I'm just going to add a paper clip here. And just because I like sort of opposite corners, I'm going to add a paper clip here. Now, the good thing is, on the other side, look, it will actually add to that design too. I like that. Because you've always got to think what's on the other side. Now, one thing I like to do, just because I'm a bit bizarre, is I like to actually just draw around my paper clip, because I'm really into this black fine liner at the minute. But again, you don't have to. I just like that doodling bit, that lovely little. And the very, very finishing touch is just the splats of Posca. But I'm thinking, because we've got now, I don't want to add white. I'm either going to go for blue or green. And I can't decide. Or I have got a purple. I think I might go for blue. I just think white wouldn't show up very much here. What do you think? Should we? Oh, let's try it. It's my journal. That's what a journal's for, isn't it? For trying things out. So let's have a go. I'm going to shake my Posca. Remember, it's got a ball bearing in, so you always need to shake it. And quite often they need pumping, so we'll give it a pump. Right, let's just try a few little blue. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Do you know what? Good choice, ladies. I'm glad you went for blue. So those of you that said blue, I don't want to overcook it. That corner just needs a little here. Right. Right. Lid on. No pizzas. So if I show you, and I'm not going to add any more sentiments because I like my happiness here. So that's that side. And then this is the other side. And I think that has got just enough on it. And I really love that, especially the two together. But as I say, I can't really zoom out anymore so you can see. But I'll take a picture and put it on of the two together. I just think I love this idea. I'm so pleased with this. And using the circle, our circle masks for that. I just think, and especially on scraps of card, as I say, your little scraps, use them up. I save everything. I'm sure you do as well. So that's today's journal piece. Now I just need to wipe that little bit of blue Posca up there, otherwise that'll go on my journal. And if I can put that up there and bring in the one in the smaller journal, just to remind those ladies who've got the smaller journal, so that I just had a half this side and a half that side. And I haven't done the writing on this. I thought it would be too much. But again, you could always just do one page. You know, on the page we did, you could put a main one on that background we made. Did we have a spare? We didn't, did we? You could just put one of the circle ones on there. That would be beautiful. You see, again, this is what happens when you're journaling. My mind just, it wanders and wanders. So I'll leave you with that for today. I'm really hoping you enjoyed that today. I'm sorry, I don't know where the time goes, because I start this and I just get in the zone, and sometimes I actually forget you're there. How bad is that? I have guests in my craft room and I just get carried away. So you take care, and I'd love to see your work. Even if you make cards with these designs, again, put it on and let's inspire each other, because that's what we do on here. And it's lovely to see we've got some new crafters, some new followers to our Lavinia family. So welcome. It's so lovely to have you here. So you take care, everybody. I'll be popping back tomorrow night. I'm off now to spend some time with my mum. Time is precious. You take care, everybody. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.